Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked at the calendar, and thought, is this really what retirement is supposed to feel like? Maybe you imagined these years would be full of joy, adventure, and fulfillment. But instead, you find yourself feeling a little lost, unsure of what comes next. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. Retirement isn't the end of something great. It's the beginning of something even better. The truth is that retirement can be the happiest chapter of your life, but only if you approach it with the right mindset. See, after decades of working, raising families, and meeting responsibilities, it's easy to forget how to live for yourself. That's why today, we're talking about 4 powerful mindset shifts that can help you not just enjoy retirement, but truly thrive in it. Now, you might be thinking, a mindset shift? How is that going to make a difference? Well, think of it like this. If you spent years driving the same route to work every day, retirement is like suddenly being handed a map with no roads marked. You could stay parked where you are, or you could choose to explore. The difference isn't the car or the road. It's in how you see the journey. So, let's start with the first mindset shift. From I used to be to I get to be. For many of us, retirement comes with a strange sense of loss. We miss the titles we held, the routines we knew, and even the small daily interactions that gave us purpose. It's natural to look back and say, I used to be a manager, or I used to be so busy. But here's the problem. When we define ourselves by what we were, we rob ourselves of what we can be. Instead, try this every morning. Ask yourself, what do I get to be today? Maybe you get to be an artist for the first time in 40 years. Maybe you get to be a traveler, a volunteer, or a storyteller for your grandkids. This small language change opens up a world of possibilities. You're not losing your past. You're gaining the freedom to reinvent yourself. Take my friend Margaret, for example. After retiring from teaching, she struggled with feeling useless without her classroom. Then one day, she signed up for a watercolor class, just for fun. Now, she sells her paintings at local fairs and donates the proceeds to a children's charity. She didn't lose her identity as a teacher. She expanded it. And that brings us to the second mindset shift, from I should rest to I deserve joy. Now, don't get me wrong, rest is important. But somewhere along the way, many of us start believing that retirement is just about slowing down. We tell ourselves, I've worked hard, I should take it easy. But here's the thing, rest isn't the same as fulfillment. You didn't work all those years just to spend the next 20 watching TV. You deserve joy. You deserve hobbies that light you up, experiences that make you laugh. And yes, maybe even a little adventure. That doesn't mean you have to climb mountains, unless you want to. It could be as simple as joining a book club, planting a garden, or finally taking that trip you've always talked about. Remember, retirement isn't a reward for working hard. It's the gift of time. Time to do the things you love, with the people you love. So why not start today? Now, these first 2 shifts are just the beginning. Because once you start seeing retirement as a blank canvas instead of a closed door, everything changes. But there's another crucial shift that can make all the difference. One that's all about connection, purpose, and a surprising truth about what makes us happy as we age. Let's keep going. Part 2, the power of connection and purpose. You know, there's a saying that goes, the best things in life aren't things. And when it comes to retirement, that couldn't be more true. While it's easy to focus on finances, health, or where to live, the real secret to thriving after 60 has little to do with what you have, and everything to do with who you're with and why you wake up in the morning. That's why the third mindset shift is so powerful. From I'm alone to I'm free to connect. Now, let's be honest, retirement can sometimes feel lonely. The house is quieter. The kids are busy. Old coworkers aren't part of your daily life anymore. And if you've lost a spouse or close friends over the years, that loneliness can hit even harder. But here's what I've learned. Retirement doesn't have to mean isolation. In fact, it can be the perfect time to build deeper, more meaningful connections than ever before. Think about it. When you were working, how often did you say, I'd love to catch up, but I just don't have the time? Well, now you do. Now, you can call that old friend just to chat. You can join a community group, take a class, or even strike up a conversation with someone new at the park. And here's the beautiful part. At this stage in life, friendships aren't about networking or obligation. They're about choice. You get to spend time with people who truly matter to you. Take my neighbor, Jim. After his wife passed, he spent months barely leaving the house. Then, on a whim, he signed up for a weekly coffee meetup at the local senior center. At first, he went just for the free donuts, but soon, those strangers became friends. Now, they go on day trips together, swap gardening tips, and even start a little poker night. Jim told me, "I didn't realize how much I missed just laughing with people until I gave myself permission to try." And that's the key, permitting yourself. Because the truth is, the connection doesn't just happen. We have to choose it. This brings us to the fourth mindset shift, and this one might be the most important of all. From my best years are behind me to my best years are still ahead. I know. Society loves to tell us that aging means decline, that after 60, it's all downhill. But what if that's just wrong? What if the reason some people struggle in retirement isn't because of their age, but because they've been told their age is a limitation? Here's what the research actually shows. Happiness often increases after 60. Why? Because we stop worrying so much about what others think. We've learned what truly matters. And most importantly, we finally have the time to focus on it. So instead of looking back with nostalgia, try asking yourself, what's something I've always wanted to do but never had the chance? Maybe it's writing that memoir. Maybe it's learning an instrument, mentoring young people, or even starting a small business. Retirement isn't an ending. It's the first day of the rest of your life, with no one to answer to but you. I'll never forget a woman named Helen, who took her first painting class at 72. At first, she laughed it off. "I'm too old to be any good at this." But within a year, she was hosting her art show. When someone asked her what took her so long, she smiled and said, "I was too busy raising kids and paying bills. Now I'm finally giving myself the chance to shine." And that's what this is all about, giving yourself the chance. Because retirement isn't just a phase of life. It's an opportunity to rewrite the rules, to discover new joys, and to prove that the best is yet to come. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I put all this into practice? That's exactly what we'll explore next. Simple, actionable ways to make these mindset shifts stick, so you can start living your happiest years right now. Let's keep going. Part 3, turning mindset shifts into daily joy. You've probably heard the phrase, knowledge is power. But here's the thing, knowledge is only powerful when we use it. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on now. How to take these mindset shifts off the screen and into your everyday life. So retirement doesn't just sound good, it feels good. Let's start with something simple but profound. Rituals. You see, one of the biggest challenges in retirement isn't just what we think. It's how we structure our days. Without the routine of a job, time can start to blur. One empty morning turns into a week, then a month, and before we know it, we're wondering where the year went. That's why creating small, meaningful rituals is so important. For example, instead of waking up and thinking, what should I do today? Try start with a ritual that sets the tone. Maybe it's savoring your coffee on the porch while you watch the sunrise. Maybe it's writing down one thing you're excited to explore that day, even if it's as simple as trying a new recipe or calling a friend. These little moments act like anchors, giving your day purpose and direction. And here's a tip. Tie your rituals to the mindset shifts we've talked about. If you're focusing on I get to be, your morning ritual could include asking, who do I want to be today? If you're embracing, I deserve joy, maybe your ritual is playing your favorite song and dancing like no one's watching. Because let's be honest, no one is, and that's the fun of it. Now, let's talk about curiosity. One of the most surprising things about retirement is how quickly it can shrink our world if we let it. We stick to the same routes, the same hobbies, the same conversations. But curiosity is like a muscle. If we don't use it, it weakens. And here's the good news. You don't have to climb Mount Everest to stay curious. It's about small, playful explorations. Try this. Once a week, do something slightly outside your comfort zone. It could be visiting a new neighborhood, striking up a conversation with someone at the library, or even just ordering a dish you've never tried before. The goal isn't to become a thrill seeker. It's to remind yourself that the world is still full of wonder, and you're never too old to discover it. I remember a man named Robert who told me he'd spent years saying, "I'll travel someday." When he retired, someday finally came, but he kept putting it off, worried he was too old for adventures. Then, on his 70th birthday, his granddaughter gave him a scratch-off map of the world and said, "Pick one place." "Grandpa, just one." He chose a river cruise in Europe, something small and manageable. That trip turned into 2, then 3, and now he plans a new journey every year. His rule? It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be new. That's the power of curiosity. It doesn't just fill your days, it fuels your spirit. Finally, let's talk about legacy. Now, I know that word can sound heavy, like something reserved for history books or wealthy philanthropists. But legacy isn't about what you leave behind. It's about what you give while you're here. Retirement is a perfect time to do that in your way. Maybe your legacy is the stories you share with your grandchildren. Maybe it's the wisdom you pass on to a younger neighbor, the flowers you plant in your community garden, or the kindness you show to a stranger. The point is that you don't have to change the world to make an impact. You just have to show up in your unique way and let your light shine. So, as we wrap up, let's bring it all together. Retirement isn't just a phase of life. It's a blank canvas, and the brushes are in your hands. Whether it's embracing new identities, seeking joy, deepening connections, or believing your best years are still ahead, every day is a chance to paint something beautiful. And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Start small. Celebrate the tiny victories. And most importantly, be gentle with yourself. This is your time. No rules, no rush, no regrets. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small thing you'll try this week to make your retirement happier? Share in the comments below, because your story might inspire someone else to take their first step. 2, if this video resonated with you, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on thriving after 60. After all, the best is yet to come, and I can't wait to see where your journey takes you. Here's to your happiest years yet. Cheers.